Good morning, everyone. It's a nice and crispy Florida morning. It's below 50. And trust me, here in South Florida, we're not used to this cold. But, we can expect a few days like that each year. So, it's January. It's the 24th, January 24th, 2025. And I'm up early in the morning with this cold weather, with my drone on my back. Those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, you probably already know why I'm here, what I'll be doing. And if you don't know, you're going to find out real soon. This is something I've been doing for the past 4 years, and I hope to continue, because there's nothing like observing nature. So before I fly, one of the things I like to do is to open the air control app on my phone, and that way I can see if there are any airspace restrictions. So I'm just outside the area that's covered by the Palm Beach International Airport. So I don't need to request permission because I'm not in controlled airspace. There are no TFRs. A TFR is basically a temporary flight restriction. And since the president is currently in Washington, then there are no TFRs in the area. And by the way, this is near to Mar-a-Lago, where President Trump has his summer, or I should say his winter residence. So that's the reason why I was checking for a TFR. Because you always want to follow the rules. You don't want to go against federal law. Great. So now I just need to turn my controller on. It's legal to fly, no restrictions. So let's rock and roll. Turn on my controller, and I'm ready to go fly. And why are we flying today? Well, like I said, those of you who have been on my channel, watching my channel for a while, let's wait for the drone to get the good GPS signal. I'm gonna wait for the home point to be set. Okay, we've started recording. And we're ready to go. Okay, so what are we looking for today? What are we looking for? I hope none of you take offense to my fake German accent. Or is that Russian? Yeah, this is what we're looking for. Manatees. It's winter. So, like I said, those of you who have watched my channel for a while, you know that when it gets too cold in northern Florida and southern Georgia, the manatees head south. And here we have the electrical plant, electrical power plant just beyond there. And here we have the manatees. And for those of you who are new to the channel, let me just explain how this works. So when the manatees head south, they travel down the intercoastal, or they travel outside in the ocean, and then they come into the intracoastal. And this power plant right here uses seawater to cool the turbines, and then once the water pulls that heat from the electrical generators, then basically that hot water is released into the intracoastal right here. I wish I had a thermal camera on my drone so that I could just check the temperature, but the water here, the temperature is just ideal for these manatees. And so they hang out here, and then during the day when it warms up, then they go hunting. Now let me just say that I think we can see some steam coming from one of the turbines right there. So let me just change my position, because I think the wind is blowing in towards the southeast, coming in from the southwest. So now you want to be careful not to fly over a critical infrastructure, and the power plant is considered a critical infrastructure in Florida. So if you notice, I'm not flying over the plant, I'm actually flying towards the side. Now because of the drone's camera, it might look like I'm passing over sometimes, but I'm not. I'm actually flying adjacent to the power plant. So it's so cold this morning. It was less than 50 degrees when we got up. I know for you guys in Canada, or perhaps in the Northeast, 50 degrees is nothing, but for us here in Florida, especially South Florida, this is a big deal. So here we see this solitary manatee hanging out right outside here. Not sure why. Maybe he had a feud with some of the other guys. I don't know. Some of the other manatees. I don't know. Let's go in and take a closer look. Da 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 da. Nice. Good. So apparently the water just outside is warm enough, so he doesn't have to go in with everyone else. Maybe he's not a manatee person. Maybe he just doesn't get along with all the other manatees and he's on his own. I don't know. Well, that's kind of silly of me to equate manatees with human behavior. That was just for comedy. But I think one of the benefits of grouping together like this is that the body heat that they have is shared. And even though these manatees look very round and very, what's the correct word? Pudgy, portly, they're not overweight. Animals are never overweight, unlike human beings. Well, except for domesticated animals like dogs and cats when we give them too much high fructose corn syrup. But manatees are just pure muscle, and then they have this thick layer of fat that protects them to some extent from the cold. But grouping together definitely helps them to preserve body heat. And with this warm water coming from the power plant, man, that's just the ideal vacation for these manatees. And basically over the years I've been noticing that what they do is that they hang out here during the night and in the early morning, and then as soon as the water heats up, as soon as the sun comes up and the water heats up enough, then they go hunting. They go foraging for food. And manatees are not carnivores. They eat aquatic plants. I'm not an expert on manatees, so I don't know of them eating any kind of meat. But based on the research I've done, they survive eating aquatic plants. Now, in one of my previous videos about the manatees, I was concerned about the dwindling numbers. And because of bad boating practices, people going too fast in areas where they're not supposed to, quite a few manatees were hit and had died. And I was worried about the numbers. But here we can see that the numbers are very strong in spite of human activity. So if we turn around, we go like that. And if I take a snapshot and count, then you can see we have, let me do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, so that's a lot. That's a lot of manatees right there. So apparently word got around about how nice this place is. And the other manatees were like, hey, you want to come join us on vacation next year? We know this nice place down in Riviera Beach. So maybe you should join us. And so they brought their friends in. And so now they're enjoying this beautiful scenery, this nice warm water here in Florida. So when a certain species when their numbers start to dwindle, then that usually spells trouble for us. So I'm glad to see that the manatee numbers are strong. And now it's time to head back to base.